Yes! It's in my...
I don't care what nobody say. When they can't put their hands on you, sometimes they will enjoy you suffering and raveling in pain.
Hi lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strana. Thank you so much for all the love and support. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of us, you guys are the real MVP. So lovelies, I came across this teaching about for you, and I thought to share where this pine-colored nurse is about to lose her license for comfortably leaving a black woman to go through pain, even though she saw that this black woman is just going and passing through a terrible pain. But the thing is that she ignored it. She was all less concerned because they believe that black women can actually overcome any form of pain. Lovelies, I'm just going to roll the clip because this is actually not sitting well with a lot of people. They're calling her out, and people are like, this is just unjust. Please leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. Alright, lovelies, let's dive into it.
Right now. What? How many times have you been pregnant? 3. This is your 3rd pregnancy? Yes! You have 2 babies at home? It's in my ass! You have 2 babies at home? Who's your doctor?
Lang is her doctor. Y'all treat all your patients like this or just the black ones?
Last name is Jones. She's G3P2. Not sure what her due date is.
Her due date is
Just said
the
it was
10th.
the 10th. Her due date's the 10th.
She got 3 pregnancies, 2 babies at home.
A small snippet from multiple videos. It's absolutely disheartening and disgusting to hear, and it is textbook medical racism. This happened at Dallas Regional Medical Center, and this is the nurse who completely ignored a black woman who was in clear distress and active labor. Now, the mother of the woman in the video did come on and share her side, and I would encourage you all to go and watch it directly from its source, but I will give a very quick TLDR. So her daughter was supposed to be induced at 8 p.m., but they did not have any beds in the hospital for her, and they said that they were going to call when they did. So the family called back every hour on the hour until her water finally broke. At that point, they called the hospital. The hospital said, go ahead and bring her in. They get there and they tell the grandmother in the situation that she's parked in the ambulance only area and they can't help her and that she needs to go around to the other side, despite the fact that her daughter is in active labor and in serious pain. So the grandmother goes around to the other side of the building, rushes in and asks for a wheelchair. The nurses there have zero agency, so they get her a wheelchair, and then the grandmother has to go out and get her daughter into the hospital, and I believe she got help from a police officer. And then the grandmother goes and parks her car, and when she comes back in, her daughter, who is in active labor, is sitting in a wheelchair with papers in her hand. And the hospital tells them that before they can get her up to labor and delivery, she has to sign these papers, despite the fact that they were the ones who told her to go ahead and come in. And again, she's in active labor. And again, as you can see, despite the fact that she is in very clear distress and active labor, the nurse has zero sense of urgency. And then from the events of that video, her son Cash was born 12 minutes later. And it seems that thankfully, for the most part, Cash is healthy. However, because the mother was in so much distress, the amniotic fluid ended up being green because the baby had a bowel movement while he was still in the mother. And on top of that, he was born with his eyes open. So he's got a couple of appointments to ensure that he will be okay. And I'm so glad that the grandmother was there to be able to film, record this, and be an advocate, because imagine if she had gone by herself and had no one to advocate for her and her baby. We need to do everything we can to ensure that this story picks up and that family is able to get justice and sue the absolute shit out of that hospital for medical negligence and medical racism.
Watch that. I am triggered. I ain't gonna even lie. As a black woman who has had 2 babies, I can empathize with what this young lady is going through. My first child was by cesarean. My second was a natural birth. I remember it clearly. We were watching the news like 10 p.m. that night, and I went into labor. I knew he was coming, so we went ahead and got dressed, and my husband took me to the hospital. I was grunting just like this young lady is in this video. I remember it distinctly. We got to the hospital a little bit after 11 p.m. They wheeled me in, took me directly into a room, and there was a nurse asking me questions like this lady, and the contractions just kept coming. They were coming so fast, we didn't have time for the epidural. They wheeled me into the delivery room. The doctor came in, he looked, and he was like, she's about to have this baby right now. So they got my legs all set and everything like that, and I literally began to push. So as my son is coming out, while the doctor proceeds to clip, he literally performed an episiotomy with no pain medicine or anything on me. I could feel the scissors, okay, the shears, I could feel it. Talk about no sympathy for the amount of pain that we go through. After my son was born, I could feel him sew me up. That shit was painful. I ain't even gonna lie. It was, shit hurt. I don't even like cussing on this little black app, but baby, that was painful. So I empathize with this young lady, and I pray to God that her recovery is quick and that she doesn't have to deal with any type of postpartum, and that she has a healthy baby. I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Anybody who is in the medical field, I understand that y'all don't want to get too emotionally involved with your patients. I get that. But at the very least, please show care, concern, and compassion for your patients. At the end of the day, we are all human beings, no matter what color we are. So please, at the very least, show some concern, care, and compassion.
In the United States of America, you will have things like this happening between blacks and whites. In Jamaica, you will have these things happening between the educated and the uneducated. The insidious nature of classism, colorism, racism. It's subtle, it's demonic, it's wicked, it's false, and I can relate to what that woman went through. And that's why I wrote the book that I wrote, because we here, unlike America, where everything seems to be in the open, unlike America, in the Jamaican context, you will find some situations where things are stated and then nicely swept under the carpet. This happens in our medical facilities. Patients die in our medical facilities for the same kind of apathy. I'm hoping that if you want, just take the video and send it to any nurse, doctor, practitioner, radiologist, and anesthesiologist, gynecologist, any gist that you know of. And I want to share this specific message with the gist that you share it with. You see, compassion goes a long way. If you're going to be working in medicine, compassion is a criteria to your doing a good job. The minute you lose compassion is the minute you should quit, because compassion is so important. If you do not have compassion, if that runs out at a critical time when it is needed, could be the day that that same compassion is needed to save a life. So every time the slaves that go into the mansion or into the master's house become masters themselves, don't ever forget that your ancestors went through these very same types of things. So when you're driving those nice cars, and you're making those decisions that lack integrity, that have a motivation on money, and you forget about patient care. When you do that, remember, compassion. Compassion.
Fucking insane. I hope y'all are suing that hospital. That's ridiculous. She's sitting there asking her questions while she's actively in labor. That's, first of all, if you've never had a child, natural, let alone, bro, let me explain something to you. Mind you, I had to have a cesarean with my son because his big head ass, he started veering off into my ribs and shit. But to sit there and ask this lady fucking questions, she's telling you she's in a great amount of pain. Why are you, get her to a birthing room. Like, sister, I'm so sorry that happened to you. I think that's the grandma page, the mom, you know. I'm so sorry this happened to y'all, the mother who is going through that pain in that chair, because that hospital was extremely negligent. I hope you got that lady's name and all of that and you get that situated, you know, because that's fucking ridiculous.
Do Black people feel pain the same way as white people? A 2016 study showed that 50% of medical students and residents who were studied thought that Black people couldn't feel pain the same way because they had thicker skin or their nerves didn't work the same way. Where is this from? It's a holdover from the days of slavery when white people had to feel better about using slaves. Black people used to be operated on without anesthesia and were used in studies without their consent, so this was a convenient lie. To this day, Black people are less likely to get the same treatment in terms of pain medication. They're more likely to wait longer in the emergency room. They're less likely to be taken seriously. It's a holdover from the days of slavery. And in my field, this plays a huge role in the Black maternal and morbidity crisis. The call to action, doctors, nurses, anybody in the medical field, check your implicit bias. If you see somebody spreading these lies, stop them, but still stop yourself every time you're caring for somebody who has a different skin color than you and check your bias. If you are a woman of color, speak up. If this is happening to you, ask to speak to a different nurse, a different doctor, report them, speak up.
Immediately, this is disgusting. The way that they treat Black women at these hospitals is mind-blowing to me, and the fact that this nurse is sitting there just oblivious to the fact that this woman is screaming in pain, baby about to fall out her vagina, screaming, excruciating pain. And I know what labor feels like. I know what it feels like when there's no drugs in your system. No, this is not okay. Not okay. And if I was her mother, if I was her, I would want to own the hospital. Cause what do you mean? You're just having her sit there and the baby was, she gave birth to the baby 12 minutes later. No. And then did you hear how they treated her? They didn't even bring a wheelchair. They didn't bring a wheelchair when they pulled up. They told them to go to the front of the hospital. Are you fucking shitting me? Now, what if something would have happened to her or that baby? No.
See, this is the reason that the death rate is so high for African American women during childbirth. Where's the empathy? Where's the bedside manner? Those questions could have been asked as she prepared her for labor. Make it make sense. I hope and pray that that baby was born healthy and okay. Anytime a woman thinks that the baby is in their ass, that's a clear indication that that baby is on its way. I hope this nurse lost her job, and I hope this woman sues the hell out of that hospital.
Okay, so let's talk about this, right? This is a video I just came across where this young woman is visibly in labor and the callous nurse is casually asking her with all the time in the world, you know, different questions, intake questions, and is ignoring the fact that this lady is actively in labor. And the caption said her son was born 12 minutes later. And then this said this woman had her in the waiting area more than 30 minutes. The delivery was awful. Okay, so I want y'all to put on your dark goddess lens. If you don't know what that is, just sit quietly. Don't try to participate. Just sit quietly. Okay? Because you might learn something that you did not know before today. Women have allowed the sacred act of childbirth to be exploited and perverted in this very much inverted realm. Okay? Now, on the surface, a lot of women will say, why are they treating us like this? Why did you... First of all, coming from a Black woman's lens, right? It is common fucking knowledge that Black women are the original woman. And black women will repeat this rhetoric because it makes them sound good temporarily in the moment, but they don't want to fully own what that actually means, right? And how you ended up being so carelessly considered in the very realm that comes from your very womb. As long as you continue to do something, your words of dissatisfaction means nothing, okay? If you are not satisfied with the way mothers and children are treated in this realm, you would stop having children. But y'all don't stop. Why? This is why I have to continue to probe the question to get women to ask themselves why you desire the things that you desire. It is no secret that black women have all of these statistics lined up against them, how dangerous it is to have a baby, and yet you keep doing it. Why? It can't possibly be for the baby because we know what kind of world we are entering these children into, yet you do it anyway. Why? Now, of course, we know that intercourse is the one thing impoverished people can control, the one thing every person can control, right? And that nobody else can control what they do with their bodies. So this is how most children end up here. But as long as women continue to treat their wombs like it is a fucking metro station and anybody with $2.50 can hitch a ride, you will continue to exist in this way. Period. Y'all are letting any and everybody's DNA hitch rides through your womb and enter this realm, no matter how shitty the DNA, no matter how shitty the person, no matter how mentally challenged. Y'all are just popping out kids left and right like you are the fucking bus station. And you wonder why you don't get respect. If motherhood and birthing was so sacred, you would treat it like it's sacred. And something that is sacred is not distributed like fucking Skittles. And when something is sacred, it is hoarded. It is kept behind lock and key. It's not sitting out on the street for anybody to come and pick it up. I need women, and particularly black women, since you are the original woman, right? I need you to zip your womb up like it is a North Face jacket in sub-freezing temperatures. If you can't do that, you don't even believe your womb is sacred, okay? Women are not disgusted enough with this realm to stop having babies. So what y'all are telling people is that you are perfectly okay with how it's going. Nobody believes what comes out of your mouth. They believe what comes out of your womb. Actions speak louder than words. Y'all can complain about your dissatisfaction, but if you keep going to the restaurant that keeps spitting in your food, are you really dissatisfied? Or do you like the sound of your own fucking voice? Y'all aren't tired yet. And the few of us who are causing the birth rates to drop, because every day y'all are still popping out fucking babies in 2025 like it's not anything wrong with what's going on in the world. Y'all are continuing business as normal. And you wonder why business continues as normal. And you wonder why motherhood, women, children are not respected in this realm. How many times do we have to fucking tell y'all that the reason for the main reason, the main power that is powering up this realm is child sacrifice, okay? The God of Abraham is the God that run this realm, and we know what he required people to do in order to gain the power that he would give them in humanity in the Bible, as above, so below. If you keep doing something, you are saying that it is okay. Period. Okay, so let's talk about this, right?
Seriously, lovelies. I actually couldn't even bring myself to see all of the clip. I have to just reduce the volume because assuming I increase the volume and you hear the way at which this black woman was calling out or was calling for help, like it actually takes someone with a very cold heart to see this kind of pain, to see someone undergoing this kind of pain, and this person was just all relaxed, and this person was all just, still doing her thing, like, oh, is this your first pregnancy? She said no, this is her thought. And she was like, oh, your two kids are at home? Yes. Oh, so you have this your thought? Like, what is all these questions? I actually thought that maybe when they see that um you know labor has taken to this level, even if you want to keep asking this question, while you're asking question, why not start administrating any form of medication that could just help her out? She's all out there calling for help. And when her mother asks, are you treating her this way because she's a black woman, or this is how you treat all of your patients? She couldn't even bring herself to answer the question, because clearly what she knew that what she was doing is oh my goodness, what she was doing is nothing to write home about. How can you be so comfortable and seeing a fellow human on like in that state? And if you check very well, this nurse, probably she's a mother. Is this the way they treated her when she was in that condition? Or maybe she's not even a mother. But at least, what happens to compassion? What happens to actually, give a little bit of concern? Not maybe trying to focus on the pretense of, "Ah, I'm doing my job." You're doing your job, and look at this lady. What if she eventually collapsed because of the level of pain? This is the reason why it's all out there in the article that black women are the most to be neglected in times of any form of pain, be it pregnancy or what have you. They neglect you, they don't care, they don't even, like, if you're telling them that you're in pain, they don't want to accept that. They don't even want to agree, because they feel that because of maybe you have this melanin color, you don't feel pain. You don't feel pain. Gosh, there is this stage which I think I did it last year, where a black woman came out to share her experience, her betting experience being a black woman in America. And she goes on to tell her stories. And this story is something that when you listen to this story, it's you actually know that it's actually very necessary for black doctors or black nurses to just should, like, they should have an avenue whereby black nurses and black doctors should be placed in most of this hospital, at least to cater and care for black women most specifically. This woman shared how she was in labor, right? She was in labor, this type of labor. She went to her doctor or whatsoever that was supposed to be, or nurses over there. They keep on telling her that she hasn't dilated yet. They keep on referring, like, she went there. They told her to go back home, that she hasn't dilated yet. She have to go back home, and she was feeling pain. She was feeling pain. And the same day in the evening, she have to go back and tell them that this pain is intense. Like, by that time, she's already, there's a kind of pain that you undergo when you, oh God. She was already trying to tell them this woman was ignored. The mother was restless. Like, lovelies, another thing I'll have to chip is that it's actually very, very important for you to have someone of your own when you know that you're going to get into labor. Make sure your family member is there. Make sure your husband, your partner, your mother, your sister, or anybody that maybe your family, that actually know what it means to be a family, that loves you, that understands you and understands your pain. So this said woman that shared her story, she was all over the hospital crying, asking for help. The nurses were all ignoring her. The mother was running helter skelter. They were all forming busy, telling her that she hasn't dilated yet. That a miracle happened. The miracle that happened was when a black female doctor walked in and saw her in that pain, in that condition. She was already giving up. She was already losing hope. She had to take her to the delivery room, Like immediately she's just laying down the bed to deliver, her baby is already out. But before then, the babies, I think the heartbeat or whatever has to, like, they have to know, run around to see how they were going to, to bring back the baby and all of that. Okay, let's just imagine that this black doctor that they walk in. What could have happened? What could have happened? And now, the same story I heard months back, I'm seeing it in reality. That was why I decided to put it up here. So that women, especially if you're a black woman, when you are pregnant, know the kind of hospital you're going. I think it's even better you go to a black owned hospital. Seriously. For yourself and for your baby. And make sure you go with your family, because they understand you and that they want to run around for you, that want to stand for you, because most of these people are so heartless. They don't care, especially if you're a black one. They believe that, oh, and this has to do with history, you know. Anyway, lovely, so just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. Please, if you've not subscribed to this channel, do your girl a huge favor to click on the subscription button, like, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one. Share, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.